Hey guys, hope you're doing great out there. Hope you guys are having a great day, a great start to the week. I hope you guys made some money today. I know it was definitely a good day in the market. I can tell you that. But anyways, we're gonna let everybody join here for a moment, and then we'll get rolling with this live stream. Do a half hour, and take your guys' questions in regards to any stocks, the market in general, business in general. If you don't mind limiting yourself to one question, please, so everybody else can ask questions too. And then if you see like a lot of people have gone through their questions, then you can feel free to ask another one. But I know some people ask like a million questions, and some people don't give it really a chance. So I'll give everybody a chance. But anyways, hope you guys are doing great. Hope you have a great week this week, and let's get rolling here. Arthur says, "Hi Jeremy, which gated communities are nice in Arizona?" I don't know as many gated communities honestly in Arizona as I do. There's a lot of gated communities, but there's a difference between gated and guard gated. And I can't really speak on it as high level as I can in Vegas, to be honest. Hello, guys. Happy to have you here on the live stream. Hello. What are your thoughts on cruise? My thoughts on cruise are my thoughts always are on cruise. I like it. Under 60 is pretty dang interesting. It's not the safest stock in the world, but it does have some decent upside potential in my opinion, because some chips they got coming over the next few years in some of these devices. So, and then obviously you add on top of that the 5G super cycle that hopefully is coming. That's pretty bullish around Cruisy Doozy. Phenomenal management team, phenomenal balance sheet. A lot to be excited around Cruise, but obviously they get so much of their revenues and profits from Apple that does make it a little scary. Out, please, baby. I'm working. Bye-bye. Hey, Jeremy. Almost doubled my money in Win. Holy smokus. Congrats on that. Would you take some profits? Depends. And that's such a general question. It depends on your situation. Why do you need to take profits? Is it because you want to deploy that money into another stock? To just say take profits on Win, it's like, why? Obviously I'm not interested in taking any money out of Win because, I want to be in that one for the next few years as hopefully Vegas continues to bounce back, but mainly hopefully as Macau starts to bounce back in 2021. So, it depends on your situation. I like to never sell stocks unless I don't like the business anymore, or unless I feel like I need to put money in a stock I like better. Unless those are situations, it's like, why sell? Hiran says, "Hi Jeremy, when will you look into maybe buy 2022 options?" I'm not interested in 2022 options. What I'm looking for is actually 2023 options, which should be coming out. Let's think for a moment. 2023 options should be coming out probably within the next month or two. What's up, Jeremy? Hello. What do you think of PK? They have a massive asset and the valuation is really, really low as an asset play. I don't know PK off the top of my head, Jamil. I wish you would have let me know what that one is. Brennan says, "Are you proud of the Jeremy effect or do you kind of hate it?" I would say I like it more than I don't like it. It just means a lot of people, look to my opinion on stocks. So I would rather have it be that way than the other way. So, hi, Jeremy. Is Upwork a good buy at this price? Julia says, well, I love Upwork at this price. Whether you should buy it or not, it's another question. But I love Upwork around here where it's at right now. So, I definitely like it. I love their freelance economy type business. I love the valuation. I like where they're going. So, Robert says, Jeremy, talk to me about your thoughts on Roku. ARK Invest is high on it long term. Do you have an opinion? Roku, I don't really see it. I'll be honest. I don't really like the business model. They're competing against a lot of big dogs. I don't know. Maybe I just can't wrap my head around that one, but I don't see it with Roku. I don't like the business model with Roku and the strategy. So therefore I can't even get to the point where I look at financials or valuations. So maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't see it with that one, to be honest. Love you, brother. Is it a good time to buy CCL? It depends. It is an interesting ROI opportunity. I think there's only probably a 35% probability the company goes under, 65% chance they don't. And as long as they don't go under, stock's probably going to 2x over the next 3 to 5 years. So, you know, it's pretty interesting from that standpoint. But, you know, we don't know. No one knows how the whole Rona situation is going to work out. And, when, you know, what if they had to, you know, not do cruises again next year? That would be devastating. So it's mess. It's a mess. There's no doubt. But it is a somewhat interesting ROI opportunity. Nassim says, between all your accounts, which one's the biggest position? Probably Facebook. Probably Facebook is the biggest. Tesla's up there. Skyworks Solutions would probably be up there as well, I think. Yeah, no, those are usually always the biggest across the different accounts. So, hey, do you have any thoughts on Toll before earnings? It says Dylan. I don't. I think home building's actually pretty dang strong right now. I'll say that. Whether they beat numbers, I don't know, because I don't track Toll like that, because I don't own the stock right now. But I will say, you know, home building is pretty dang strong in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, I think all the home builders will probably report pretty strong earnings for probably the rest of this year, which is surprising because you wouldn't think in this environment it'd be like that. But, you know, real estate's actually pretty dang strong right now. So, Michael Hughes says, what are you building your stock portfolio for? Retirement, yearly sell-off for lifestyle income? I'm building mine just because I love to do it. You know, to be honest, I'm good for life now. Like, I don't have to work another day in my life at this point. It's just for fun for me. I just want to build them bigger and bigger. And I enjoy doing that. You know, it's just, I mean, I've been doing it for 12 years now and I'm still not sick of it. You know, last night I fell asleep in this bed right here. I fell asleep in it, listening to the Foot Locker conference call. It was like past 2 a.m. and I was listening to that thing, and then I just ended up passing out, and I still love to do it. So I had to listen to the rest of that Foot Locker conference call when I woke up this morning. But, you know, yeah, I was like, oh, let me just come in here and lay down while I listen to this conference call. And, you know, the fact that I was willing to do that, even though I was like super tired, is like, just shows how much I still really love this after 12 years. So I just do it for fun, man. I enjoy the process. Find the next great stock. Ryan says, with the Tesla split, does your price target change, or do you think? Well, yeah, obviously the price target changes. You just got to divide it by whatever the Tesla split is. What is it, a 4-to-1 split or 5-to-1 split? You just got to divide it by that. So, Brian, hello, Brian. Brian says, for short term, 6-month spec play, I think you should do a video on Express Check. Oh, is that the one you mentioned to me about the airport stuff? Yeah, I bet you would like that, wouldn't you, Brian? Ray says, any thoughts on HHC? By the way, Brian, you needed to fill out your application for 7-figure award. I don't think we sent you one yet, and you're in the you're probably approaching the 8-figure award. So you send in your application to Chris. We'll ship you out one. We gotta get you in the 7-figure club, man. Ray says, any thoughts on HHC? Seems to have good upside. I'm worried a little bit on a residential crash and potential long-term office space devaluation. I'm still working on HHC, so I don't even want to go give my opinion yet there, Ray. I don't on any stock I'm seriously looking into, I hate giving opinions before I'm done my research. So I don't want to even go there yet. Once I fully have looked into it, once I'm fully done with that company, believe me, I will update you guys. I'll probably be done, honestly, by this Friday, I think. So probably in the episode this week, I'll be talking about, the Howard Hughes Corporation in depth. But yeah, I hate to give opinions on a stock I'm, seriously looking at without being done my research. So just be patient with that one. Why you bought more Foot Locker at this price when you could build the position during March, April? Well, in March, April, we didn't know what the hell was going on, right? We didn't know if Foot Lockers would have been closed the rest of this year. We didn't know if they'd have to be closed next year. We didn't know anything. It was just a messy time. So it's real easy to cherry pick and say you could have just bought right at the lows right there. It's like, dude, the whole world was falling apart in March and April, right? I've been fortunate enough to get Foot Locker, I think, as low as 25. Obviously I wasn't able to get it at the lows, but things are a lot more clear for Foot Locker now than they were, back in March when people had no clue what was going to happen in this situation, how bad things were going to get. So, yeah. Taze Girl says, Jeremy, should we be concerned about the bid ask when trading? I don't know. In what way are you talking about concerned? Yeah, I would be interested to hear exactly what way you're talking about there. So, but I mean, for the most part, you should just be focused on the fundamentals and buying a stock that it doesn't really matter if there's a few cent difference. So, as a long-term investor. Nick says, do you think we'll see other big tech companies doing stock splits as Apple and Tesla have seen such massive share appreciation as a result? Yeah, I think the stock split will be back because the stock split's been dead, honestly. Most of my stock market investing career, the last 12 years, the stock split has been dead. Like back in the day, stocks used to split all the time, but for whatever reason, the last decade, it's been like dead time for stock splits. Like if you look at the numbers of the amount of stock splits, it's been actually really low. So I think it will come back. I think a lot of companies are going to do it because they're going to see, they're like, hey, all these companies seeing their share prices go up. Let's do a stock split as well. And eventually it will get watered down and no one will care about stock splits again. And we'll go into this time where most stocks don't split. So, but yeah, with all these, believe me, every CEO is watching this. Every CEO is seeing what's going on. Every board of directors seeing this. And they're saying, why don't we do a stock split? We're just going to see our stock go up a bunch more. What the hell? So Albert says, or Albert D says, thinking of disposing of 50% of Tesla shares, cost basis $228, and rotate to other positions in my portfolio. Tesla is currently 80% of my allocation. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, if you think, the valuation's way too high on Tesla, or you're in a position where you think, or whether sometimes you just want to diversify your funds around. There's nothing wrong with selling any stock, whether it's Tesla, Apple. It doesn't matter how great the company is or any of those things. If you're just in a position where you're just like you're way too heavy into one stock, and you want to book some massive gains and deploy that into some other stocks, there's nothing wrong with that, regardless of what stock it is. So respect, because 80% of your portfolio in one stock is a lot, man. It's a lot. So. Julio says, hey, Jeremy, do you believe Planet 13 will release positive earnings report? I think the earnings reports for Planet 13 for at least the rest of this year, for the next several years, are going to be amazing. I think Planet 13 is going to absolutely crush it. I think this earning report will be amazing. I think the next earnings report will be amazing. I think future earnings reports will be amazing for Planet 13. I think, there's going to be a company that's on fire for years to go in the future. So. Jay, what do you think? Or excuse me, Jay, I have about 105,000 in a 401k that I want to start managing myself versus mutual funds. How would you recommend making the transition in terms of selling new positions? So what I would do is I would come up with a plan where you want to essentially sell off a certain amount of shares each month, something like that, like where you want to cut down or diversify 10% this month, and another 10% next month, and next 10% next month. But just kind of work it that way over like a 6 to 12 month span until you're where you want to be. But don't do it all in one day. I usually disregard against that. Some people are in such a rush to do that. I think it's a bad move. I think you got to do it deliberate, planned out, and make your moves. So Blair says, talk to me about the outlook on Revolve post earnings. I was impressed. I bought more after earnings when it dipped from $24 to $20. Macy's was $20 billion market cap at highs. Revolve's only $1.48 billion. Yeah, I mean, I've talked, many times about my bull cases on Revolve, and that's a company that has, a potentially go to a $5-10 billion market cap, if not more than that, as long as they continue to execute. And they've done nothing but execute with that business model, since, over the last several years. So, I have a lot of faith that one's going to be a $5 or $10 billion company in the future. Whether it gets to a Macy's or some of those old valuations of those department stores back when they were, 15 billion, 20 billion, 25 billion, that remains to be seen. We'll see. But in my opinion, if they execute over the next 5-10 years, it can absolutely be a, $5 to $10 billion company. So, Jamil says Park Hotels and Resorts. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think that's a company that really is focused on, obviously the travel industry, and the travel industry is destroyed right now. I'd have to look at where cash flows are at for that company right now and where the balance sheet's at, because I don't track that one heavily. But travel stocks and some of these beaten down value plays, honestly, there's some decent opportunity as long as these companies can make it through. And when I say decent, I mean actually really good opportunities, like the most has ever been with some of these stocks. So what's your target price on Upwork? I don't have a target price on Upwork, to be honest. That's just, one of those stocks I'm buying and hopefully going to hold long term. Yeah, it's not like I have a certain price target. It's just, I love the business model. I love the way they're running the business model. And I think it has so much growth over the next 5-10 years that I would hate to sell it. Regardless of price. So yeah, I don't even have like a target price on that one. Any thoughts on Vivint Smart Home, VNT? My neighbor has my neighbor has it. Solid products with an easy to use interface, $3 billion market cap. With a stock price around $17, $18. We'll be looking into it this week. Yeah, I don't know that one. Are you sure it's not Vivint Solar company? Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, so I can't really comment on that one there. Big Mustang says, hey Jeremy, what would make you buy Howard Hughes Corporation over Zillow? I can't speak on Howard Hughes Corporation yet. Like I said, I'll speak about that one when I'm done my research, and we'll get rolling on that. Hopefully this Friday I can be done my research. Caleb says, what do you think about chasing returns? For example, constantly moving your money around for better returns. Is it a bad habit? Is it good? Well, the goal should always be to put new money in new opportunities. So new money you're funneling your accounts. That's why you always want to put yourself in a position where your income outweighs your expenses, hopefully by a considerable amount. So each month you're able to put at least $1,000 in your stock market account, if not $2,000-3,000 plus, right? So that's the number one thing, in my investing philosophy. It's like always having new money going in your accounts every single month, hopefully every 2 weeks would be really nice, right? And so you're always able to put new money toward new opportunities rather than always worrying about, shoot, I got to sell a stock to buy a new opportunity. So I would say, the last resort should always be, I have to sell a stock to buy this other stock that is a big opportunity. You should always have new money going in your accounts. And if you don't, do you have an income problem or do you have an expense problem? Because you have one of those. Like just, flat out, like if you're not able to put new money in your account every single month of some kind, at least $500 to $1,000, if not a few thousand, you either have an income or expense problem. You got to be real with yourself. And you got to figure out, hey, do I need to get a better job? Do I need to start a business? Do I need to cut down on my expenses? Because there are people that spend way too much money, right? It's like, they have a good income, but they spend every dollar that comes in. So you just got to be real with yourself. But yeah, that should be the last thing, is to sell a great stock just because you got to put money in another one. Craig says, hi Jeremy, read that once you start in a stock, example $5,000, and the money doubles, then take that out, start up from stock, then leave the rest in. What do you think of this? Oh, so you're basically talking about playing with house money. I'm not a huge fan of the strategy, just for the mere fact that I don't like any strategy that just says, well, if this stock does this, I have to sell it. I like strategies where you look at the valuation of the stock and you see where that stock's actually at, and you say, does it make sense to sell a stock? Do I no longer like this company, or is the valuation just gone up so much that it's going to take this company so many years to fulfill this valuation? So, not that it's a really bad strategy, but it's not my favorite, just because you're not thinking about things fundamentally. You're thinking about things as far as like, if it doubles, sell half, play with house money. I'm not the biggest fan of that. It's kind of like a lower level of investing thoughts. Let's just put it that way. It's almost like a gambler's more mentality. I think that's why I'm not the biggest fan of that. Good Juju says, hey Jeremy, any thoughts on AESE, Align Sports Entertainment? It's a very spec play, but I see big opportunity, esports. I'd have to take a look at that one. I've never heard of that one, I don't think. So yeah, I'd have to take a look at that one sometime and see what's going on there. Taro says, hi Jeremy, I like the GVD 123. How can I build main stocks of 123, keep buying every month, wait to dip? As long as you still love the company and you love the valuation, it makes sense to just continue to buy, and buy, each and every month, or, whenever you can, essentially, to build those positions bigger and bigger. Sometimes you're going to get some dips from time to time. Either that stock's going to dip or the market's going to dip. Not every stock's like Tesla's been the last, year, where it goes up almost every single day. Most stock, well, heck, you think about Tesla, even though Tesla's gone up so much over the past year, even during this past year, even with the ridiculous hyperbolic stock like Tesla, there's been several big dips in Tesla, right? When you went all the way up to 900, fell all the way down to 300 something, right? Then went up, down, it's even a parabolic stock like that, but most stocks don't function like that. Most stocks have these periods where they don't do anything, or they have, real downs, and that's when you can able, really buy. But, regardless, you should always be buying if you really love the company. So Nassim says, besides Planet 13, I'm wondering what you think your next $1 million stock will be. I'll update you guys once I find it, okay? I know you guys are excited about whenever I come up with the next one, but the thing about $1 million stocks are those don't just pop out all over the place. I mean, I'm fortunate if I can find 1 or 2 of those a year. I wish just every stock out there was $1 million stock in the making, but it's very few and far between, man. So be patient. It could be another 9 months. It could be another year before I find another $1 million stock. You never know. Or it could be a week from now. But it just doesn't work that way. Brendan says, I've been reading Upwork's 10K last couple hours, and so far, only thing I don't like is a possible competitors. They mention a bunch of companies that, not just Fiverr, like you do in your YouTube video. Yeah, that's every single company that has a lot of competitors. I don't really know of any company in the world that doesn't have a lot of competitors in some sort. The question is, who are the real competitors, right? I mean, imagine you're looking to win resorts, right? You're looking to win resorts. Every single casino in the world's a competitor to win resorts, right? But how many of them are actually competitors to win resorts, right? And you can say, well, even the Ferrari dealership's a competitor to win resorts, because that rich guy, instead of spending the VIP room at Wynn, he might go buy a Ferrari. It's just, they have to list a ton of competitors, but how many are real competitors? In Upwork's case, I feel like the most serious threat to them over the next 5-10 years is Fiverr. However, with that being said, there should be more than enough to go around for both those companies. Corey says, yo, Jeremy, do you still keep away from owning more than 2 unprofitable companies? Seems like there's a unique time to buy. Like recently, you own more than 2 unprofitable companies. The biggest thing I like to look for in an unprofitable company is, do I expect that company to go from unprofitable to profitable within the next year? If it does, I kind of give it a pass, to be honest. For instance, Tesla, when I bought that, when I bought Tesla, it was unprofitable, but I knew like within the next year, there's going to get to profitability. Sure enough, they've been, profiting quarter after quarter. So that's the way I kind of look at it. I'm like, if they're unprofitable, ideally I don't like to be in that many unprofitable companies, but if I'm super confident that they're turning the corner in the next year and they're going to get to that profits, I almost consider it a like a profitable company, even though they're not technically yet. Alex says, what's up, Jeremy? Are you still bullish on Fizz? It's at a 52-week high. Do you see upside from here? With Fizz, I don't really think in that respect of do I see upside from here, because Fizz is just one of those stocks I just want to hold in my portfolio. It's a drink maker. I think the product they have, LaCroix, is going to continue to be top of mind when it comes to those sparkling water beverages that don't have any flavors added or sugars or things like that. And so when I just look at it, I just like the diversity it brings to my portfolio. And it's not really the type of stock that I'm thinking I got to get out, even if it went to $80 or $90. It's just, I just like it's kind of like if you own Coca-Cola stock or Pepsi. It's like you buy into those stocks and you just hold them, man. You don't worry about trying to trade in and out of them. So that's kind of how I feel with Fizzy. Get dizzy. Good Juju says, affected by the corona since they can't do, that esports company. Yeah, I'll have to still look at that one. Kyle says, I saw your video on giving away most of your wealth. Great message. I had a question while watching. Will you pay for your children's education post high school education? No, I won't. Well, first off, my firstborn son, he's going to play in the NFL, okay? Let me just tell you about that. That kid's 5 years old and he's 70 pounds, built of pure muscle, okay? So he's going to be an NFL player. And my other child, he's going to be a famous singer, okay? So I don't even need to pay for college for that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't even thought that far in advance, to be completely honest. Who knows? Maybe they don't even want to go to college. I'm not the type of parent that would push college on a kid. I can tell you that. It's like, if they want to go, okay, respect. If they don't want to go, hey, what are you doing with your life? As long as they got a vision to do something, maybe they just want to start a business right out the get-go when they get done high school, or maybe while they're in high school. And respect, man. I'm not the type that would really force my kids to go to college, because my parents never did that. And things worked out okay. Eric says, hey, Jeremy, have you had a chance to look at US Bank and Rect Mortgage? Already up 40% on RKT Rocket Mortgage. I haven't looked at them in depth, but congrats on the gains there. My goodness. And U.S. Bank's gone to the back burner because of Howard Hughes Corporation going to the front burner. So now, the stock I'm focused on right now is this Howard Hughes Corporation, researching that one more and more heavily. So U.S. Bank's unfortunately gone to the back burner for right now. So Ali says, is buying a stock better than a leap call option? For example, is better to buy Facebook stocks or buy Facebook 22? I always like buying a stock better, because the thing with call options are, then you put yourself in a situation where a stock has to go to a certain price by a certain date. That gets really, really stressful. Like, who knows, who would have known coronavirus would have came out of nowhere and shellacked the, a ton of stocks and things like that. So, yeah, it's usually much better to buy a stock just straight up, unless you're just such a ROI opportunity there that you think it's attractive or you want to diversify or something like that. But 99% of the time I'm buying stocks, not call options. Here it says, as of today, if you had to pick your top 5 high conviction stocks that would return 20% plus year over year for the next 5 years, which would those 5 stocks be? That's a really tough question here, and that's something I really got to think about. I don't think I can just give you that off the top of my head, to be honest. I wish I could, but that's a really deep, tough question. I don't just want to throw out 5 stocks without really, thinking that one through. What do you think about Airbnb? Business model is intriguing. I don't know where the valuation is going to be at when they go public. I can tell you I probably won't buy it when it goes public. You know me, I don't like to really buy many companies when they go public, to be honest. There's just usually a ripoff. Let's be quite honest. Most of these companies, when they go public, they're just usually a ripoff. And a lot of times you can get them cheaper down the road. So we'll see. It's something I'm keeping my eye on, though. Eric says, where do you see Tesla's market cap the next 4 to 5 years? So like 2024, 2025. We'll see. I mean, I could see anywhere from 300 billion to 600 billion. So, but you never know. I mean, the way that stock's been going up, who knows? Maybe it'll go to a trillion. You never really know with Tesla, but I think 300 to 600 would be about right for Tesla's valuation, over the next 4 or 5 years. Luke says, do you have your eye on any companies planning on doing their IPO? Airbnb, DoorDash, Robinhood? I mean, I like to look at them all, but no, I'm not an IPO buyer. So in terms of, am I going to buy any of them? Almost no. Literally, I might buy into a company that went public 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 12 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. But in terms of buying on IPO day, it almost never happens. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever bought into a stock in my life on IPO day. So yeah, but I always like to track them, see what's going on, see what's coming out, where the valuations are at, and those sorts of things. So Michael says, any thoughts on future Redwood Materials IPO? Maybe after Battery Day? I don't even know about that one, to be honest, Michael. Peter says, how do you feel about life insurance? As far as life insurance, I mean, it's okay, if you want that, for protection or something like that. I think I used to have life insurance when I worked for Quick Trip and those sorts of things. But now now it doesn't make sense just because I have businesses with cash flow and those sorts of things. They would obviously be taken care of for life. But, I mean, life insurance can be good, especially if you work for a company, because if you have a business, it's like that business could probably be sold or maybe produce cash flows if you have employees to run it for your family. But if you work for a company, and you pass away for whatever reason, all of a sudden right away that cash flow is gone. So if you work for a corporation, I could definitely understand getting life insurance. What age did you hit millionaire milestone? 28. Hey, Jeremy, thoughts on Lemonade Insurance business model? Looks interesting. It does look interesting. The valuation seems really high, but it's another one I got to really do more work on before I really give super in-depth opinion there. Take a couple more questions here. Jay Evans says, thoughts on JWN earnings tomorrow? I don't really have any thoughts on it, to be honest. I don't know what they're going to report. I'll be honest. I don't have a strong opinion on Nordstrom. I mean, yeah, I just don't. I'm a little lost with that one in terms of short term. I mean, long term, I think there's a big opportunity there. But in terms of short term, yeah, I really just, I don't have any clue, to be honest. So Reza says, apart from Tesla, have you looked into any other stocks related directly, indirectly to EVs, such as Green Motor Company, SHLL, or lithium mining stocks? Somebody sent me an interesting one. I think it was called Green. It might have been that Green Motor Company, where it's like they make electric school buses and cargo trucks and things like that. I haven't spent that much time looking at it yet, but that one seemed kind of interesting. But yeah, not really. There's just a lot of hype in the space, and I hate when there's as much retail hype around a lot of these stocks, and so many of them have seen their stock prices go up so much. Usually it doesn't end well. You know, I've just seen it time and time again over the last 12 years where an industry gets super hot and everybody wants to get in it. I saw it with 3D stocks. I saw it with marijuana stocks. I've seen it with, I saw it with cloud stocks. I saw it with cybersecurity stocks. And now we're seeing it with anything electric vehicle related. And it usually doesn't end well, I'll be honest, or at least for several years. Usually these stocks get so massively overvalued, and there's like a 3, 5, maybe even more than 5-year kind of compression on these stocks where it just hurts them. You know, who knows if that'll happen with this EV space, but I can tell you I've just seen it time and time again with all these industries. People get too excited too fast. We'll take one last question here, and then if you got any super important questions to me, always feel free to DM me in the Discord chat. James says, what do you do if stocks you are trying to build positions in just keep going up? And if I find other better value stocks, what should I do with my small positions that ran up a lot recently? It's a tough one. I mean, sometimes I'll just sell them off. You know, if it's a small position and it went up a bunch, sometimes I'll just sell it off, take profit and run, build a bigger position bigger. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, sometimes the biggest thing you got to figure out going into a stock is kind of like the ROI opportunity. Is this a type of stock you can see doubling or more than doubling over the next 5 years? And is this a type of stock that you see very, very, very low probability that you lose money in the stock over the next 5 years? And if the answer is yes to both of those, very high probability, you double up your money or more, and a very low probability that stocks, you're going to lose money in over the next 5 years, then it makes sense to buy it, regardless if it's went up 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% from where you bought it. Like, at the end of the day, you still think it's doubling plus over the next 5 years, and you think there's a very low probability you lose money. So whether that stock went up 5%, 7%, 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, it doesn't matter. It's all irrelevant. It might make your cost basis look a little worse, but who cares? You're the only one that sees your accounts anyways, you know what I mean? So it's like, what does that matter? So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream as always. I hope you guys are enjoying those portfolio breakdowns. I'll probably do another one this week just because we're seeing so many. It's because it's just something we started. So many of you guys are submitting them. And then I'll probably get on like a once a week, kind of doing those portfolio breakdowns, maybe on like Wednesdays or something like that. And I'm really enjoying those. I think those bring you guys, hopefully they bring you a lot of value on kind of the way I think about a portfolio in general, depending on sizing and position sizing and those sorts of things. So, I hope you guys are liking those, and I hope you continue to like them. But anyways, I got to release a video right now coming out on YouTube about Foot Locker stock and my bull thesis there and why I love that one so much at its current price and why I really love that one all the way up till $40 a share actually. So that's going to be a really in-depth video, probably be 20 minutes plus. Hope you guys enjoy that. And anyways, have a great day. Make some money. Peace.